It is Dallas week, and we're all juiced up all across the country for the Fly Eagles Fly family. And coming your way on today's show, we're going to preview this matchup on Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. First, though, today's show is presented by Vincero Collective. Exceptionally crafted, stylish, and affordable watches, all at really, really cool styles and prices. 20% off and free shipping if you use the promo code CHAT at VinceroCollective.com/chat. You can look like a baller without having to spend like one, and in the process, you can ball out like Jalen Hurts has been throughout the first 5 weeks. I'm rocking one of their watches right now. We'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. So I'm really excited to preview this game because, yes, the Eagles do have some quality wins so far on the schedule. They took down the Minnesota Vikings, one of the only other teams in the NFC that has 4 wins up to this point in the regular season. But the old school Cowboys-Eagles vibes have certainly been real all throughout the week, and the stage is set on primetime, national, worldwide audience, Sunday Night Football from Lincoln Financial Field in South Philadelphia. And yes, the Eagles come into this game a little bit banged up as evidenced by the injury report that we're about to show you, but still, the odds makers like them, and they like them a lot. They are 6-point favorites with the over-under set at 41.5. We will be doing a watch party on Sunday Night Football right here on Eagles Now. The last watch party we did 2 weeks ago against the Jacksonville Jaguars, 40,000 people joined us all throughout the night. And I want to beat that number here on Sunday Night Football. So make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications. Therefore, when we do go live, you will be notified. And all throughout the week, myself, as the host of Philadelphia Eagles Now, as well as Tom Downey, host of the Cowboys Report, we've been doing a sub-off to see which channel can pick up the most subscribers throughout this week leading up to game time. Now, we were in the lead on Wednesday, but the Cowboys Report, because of some Dak Prescott injury news, they had a 40,000-piece banger, and they overtook us. So they're leading us by 3. Let's beat them on the field, and here at Chat Sports, hit that red sub button right now. Let's start to move forward with our preview. So we first take a look at the Eagles injury report. And honestly, this news a little bit better today on Thursday as compared to Wednesday. All of these players have been featured on the injury report this week. Landon Dickerson with an ankle, Jake Elliott with an ankle, Kenneth Gainwell with a rib injury, Patrick Johnson concussion, Jason Kelce ankle, Avonte Maddox ankle, Jordan Mailata shoulder, and Isaac Seumalo with that ankle injury. But the Eagles just wrapped up practice from the NovaCare complex, and it looks as though their offensive line, with some of those studs on the right side of your screen, Isaac Seumalo, Jordan Mailata, Jason Kelce, are going to be able to play. Now, Jordan Mailata was the biggest question mark, and this is really major news that he suited up on the practice field on Thursday, and it looks as though he is going to play in this game, and it's really important for the Eagles' offensive line to be stout, to be dominant, to be physical against one of the best defenses in the National Football League. This is a good matchup for a couple of reasons. It's the fiercest NFC East rivalry. It's one of the best rivalries in all of football. And right now, these are 2 of the hottest teams in the National Football League. Eagles still perfect at 5-0. They've won 5 consecutive games. And the Dallas Cowboys, after falling week 1 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with Cooper Rush, by the way, have been able to reel off 4 consecutive wins. The Eagles' results up to this point: beat the Lions, crushed the Minnesota Vikings. They sacked Carson Wentz 9 times. They came back from an early deficit to score 29 unanswered against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and last week held on the road. Really gritty win in which the defense, I thought, played pretty well. Cameron Dicker named NFC's Special Teams Player of the Week with 2 extra point makes, 2 field goal makes, the eventual game winner. They win that game 20-17. And as I said, the Dallas Cowboys, they're rolling right now. But it's not because of their offense. Pretty much it's because of their defense, which ranks atop the league with the San Francisco 49ers in multiple defensive categories. They went down, and it was ugly week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Week 2, they rebound with Cooper Rush at quarterback. They take down the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. Then they beat the Giants and the Washington Commanders in back-to-back divisional games. And then last week, they beat the Rams 22-10. Really good on special teams last week for Dallas. Now, as I mentioned off the top of the show, Philadelphia Eagles Now is presented by Vincero Collective. I'm rocking one of their watches right now, and stay tuned for this message about Vincero, but also we're just getting our preview started. For all the boss men and women out there, true Vincero watches are a must. They can elevate your look with the twist of the wrist, like this. Made with surgical-grade stainless steel, durable silicone, and genuine Italian marble straps. These sleek modern watches come with traditional automatic and Japanese quartz movements, and the eye-catching and modern designs can go with any outfit or trend. Perfect for a day in the office or a date night out. This is the perfect gift for yourself or someone that you love. And let's be real, the holiday season is coming up right around the corner, so it's 20% off if you use the promo code CHAT at VinceroCollective.com/chat. Exceptionally crafted, stylish, and affordable watches. We'll put that link in the comments section as well as the description of this video. And you take a gander at the NFC East standings, and it's crazy, right? Because the Eagles, the only remaining unbeaten team in the NFL, but if they drop this game, then they're in a tie with the Dallas Cowboys atop this division, and the Cowboys have the tiebreaker. The Giants, another surprise team, is the NFC East, maybe the most surprising division in football at 4-1, and then Carson Wentz, an all-time fraud, and the Commanders sitting there at 1-4. If you hate the Dallas Cowboys, type F Dallas in the chat, but also hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. I'm taking a look at our live poll during our live show. Which team do you dislike the most as we go live every single Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific? 92% of the votes, Cowboys. 3% Giants and 5% Commanders. Honestly, I would have thought the Giants were coming in second place. And as I said a little bit earlier, right, this has old school Cowboys-Eagles rivalry vibes from way back in the day. I think this is going to be a very physical matchup, and Jason Kelce is anticipating that as well. He kind of responded to what Jason Peters said earlier this week and said this: these two fan bases and organizations, two polar opposites that have been in the same division, that have played so many meaningful games of football together. You have the Philadelphia fan base, which is this extremely localized, diehard fan base that is authentic to all of them growing up together in this community, in this environment. It breeds authenticity. And I love what he said right here. And you have the Dallas Cowboys fan base, which they have that in Dallas, but the majority of the fan base is built on commercialism and all of this pop culture, Lakers, Yankees type fandom that I think is the complete opposite of what the Philadelphia fan base stands for. And also, you have the North and the South going into it. You have so many factors and different things that it's led to being almost a game of cultures and values that I certainly feel and love to represent on the side that I am on. And Jason Kelce continues to solidify himself as an all-time Philadelphia Eagles legend. He understands the pulse and the heartbeat of this city as well as this fan base, and he understands that the Eagles are part of the fabric of Philadelphia. And the Dallas Cowboys, they're all frauds. So we can't really do this preview without getting to the latest injury news on Dak Prescott, so let's pivot there next. Dak latest. He will not play against Philadelphia. That was determined earlier this week. And Cooper Rush is once again going to get the start. He is 4-0 this year, replacing Dak Prescott. And in his career, 5-0 as a starter. Now, he is not going to drop back and dice you up, but he manages the game really well. And I think that Kellen Moore has done a really good job of calling the game for him. Here are the numbers that he's put up over his last 4 starts. 61% completion percentage, which is solid. 839 yards, which doesn't blow you away by any means. 7.1 yards per attempt, and 4 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. So Cooper Rush has played solid, but honestly, they've given him easy throws as well as easy reads to make, and Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott have been able to get that ground game going. You pressure Cooper Rush, that's a way for the Eagles to be victorious in this football game. As for the quarterback on the other sideline, Jalen Hurts, him, against Dallas in his career, hasn't really been him. He's 0-2 with a 59% completion percentage. He's only thrown 3 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He's run for more than 100 yards in both of those matchups, but up to this point, Dan Quinn has had his number. But Jalen Hurts has proven here in 2022 that he's a bona fide MVP candidate throughout the first 5 weeks of the season, and he has proven to be a much improved quarterback throwing the football this year. So I really don't think that you can compare Jalen Hurts in his previous 2 starts against Dallas to what he's been able to do this year, because he looks like a more confident and refined thrower of the football. And in years previous, he didn't have these weapons at his disposal. He had a really good offensive line, but when you combine the best offensive line in football with these weapons, that's why Jalen Hurts has been able to ascend and take that next step. Devontae Smith has been great. Dallas Goedert, still one of the more underrated and best tight ends in the NFL. And A.J. Brown is top 5 in receiving yards among all wide receivers, and all of these guys have had great levels of production. Still a lot left to get to here on our preview, but it is prediction time here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Who are you going with on Sunday Night Football? DAL for the Dallas Cowboys, PHI for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now let's transition to some of the in particular points and some of the keys to the game for Philadelphia to push that record to a perfect 6-0 to remain unbeaten. It honestly sounds so simple, but tackling is a huge key in this game. The Cowboys like to get the ball out quick on some of those bubble screens and on some of those quick-hitting slants. They also like to run the football. And up to this point, the Eagles' defense has been pretty good. They've also been one of the worst tackling defenses in the NFL. And if you give the Cowboys opportunities to pick up yards after contact, when they break tackles and they move the chains on some of the critical third downs in what I believe is going to be a very close game, that's how you could go down in this football game. The Cowboys' stats with Cooper Rush, really nothing crazy, honestly. 23 points per game. And I think this Eagles defense is the better unit as compared to the Dallas offense. Total yards per game, 311.5. Passing yards per game, 184, but the ground game has been excellent. It's going to be a big test for this Eagles defense going up against that potent ground attack as the Cowboys compiling 127 yards per game on the ground. They've also only turned the football over one time, and the Eagles are something like plus 10, plus 12 in turnover margin, and the EPA, expected points average per game, very, very minuscule. So not a lot of room for the Cowboys to make mistakes, but their offensive line has been very good. Tyler Smith, Connor McGovern, Tyler Biotish, Zach Martin, Terrence Steele. They let go of a couple of guys this past offseason, and they've actually ended up being pretty good. Like when Lyle Collins left and when they suffered a couple of injuries along that offensive line to guys like Tyron Smith, you're thinking, oh, this offensive line isn't going to be able to hold up in protection or open up lanes for this ground game, but they've actually exceeded expectations. And their hands are going to be full with an Eagles defense that has really been getting after the quarterback in a very consistent fashion. Hassan Reddick leading the charge with 4.5 sacks. He's really made good on that free agent deal. Brandon Graham, BG, all-time Eagle with 3. Fletcher Cox with 3. Josh Sweat, TJ Edwards, Javon Hargrave. So this Eagles defensive line really going up against a Dallas offensive line that's good. But if the Eagles want to prove that they are in fact legit and they can win the NFC, they should be able to really take control of the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Let's round out with this. I just want to get to some matchups to watch in this football game from the Linc. Eagles offensive line against the Cowboys defensive line for a lot of the reasons that I talked about. But then conversely, it's the Cowboys offensive line against the Eagles defensive line. A.J. Brown against Trevon Diggs is going to be a terrific matchup. This is a good opportunity for A.J. Brown to really get going again. And I want to see Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni target him a little bit more, especially on some of those 50-50 balls because he does have the size advantage over Diggs. And then it's Jalen Hurts against Dan Quinn because Hurts, he has really struggled against the Dallas Cowboys and the multiple looks that this defense poses him. Hurts, you're an MVP candidate up to this point. You want to prove that you are a legit MVP candidate? Take care of business on Sunday. And lastly, turnovers could decide this game. I really do believe that ball security is going to come at a premium. So with all of that, appreciate all of you for watching our preview. Before we hop on out of here, I want you to predict the score down in the comment section. It's the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me a precise score prediction. My prediction, I think it's going to be a gritty game. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to be a really physical matchup. My final score, E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. They take it by a final score of 26-23 to maintain their lead atop the NFC East and to stay undefeated.